Live.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 133 of Behind the Toolbelt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
Behind the Tool Belt is sponsored by Lead Scout. Find out more at leadscoutapp.com.
TC Backer, TC Backer.
We're back.
TC Backer family, welcome to episode 133. It's a beautiful day here in central Pennsylvania. Hopefully you guys are having a great week, man. I know we are. We're having a great week here at TC Backer. We have some great guests on today. We finally got the infamous Paul Reed to hop on here with Eric. You guys know Eric from past streams here. They're coming in from Roofers and Recover. They also own some businesses or have some business interests together, and also own their own roofing companies and stuff. And in the commercial space, yeah, I just can't talk today, man. I can't talk.
It's all good.
The home remodeling and all that kind of stuff, yeah. How are you guys doing? I'm just going to shut up now.
Words are hard.
They are, man. You got a last name like Oberembt.
Yeah, nobody knows that one anyway. Yeah. I'm doing great.
I don't even care if I get it right. Sorry if I piss you off. I try to say it. I think I say it different every single time. Oberembt.
Yeah.
So does Paul. That's terrible.
I absolutely
Holy
do.
shit.
Terrible. Good.
Yeah, terrible.
Good. I love it. No, that's cool. Yeah, so you guys are probably like, at least for me, our favorite guest on here. Like, I wouldn't care if you guys came on like once a month and did like a rotation of coming on the show once a month and just talking about what crazy shit you guys are into and what's going on. But realistically, what it is for me and why you're two of my favorite people in the podcast world and in the roofing industry is because you guys impact so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even want to say like on so many different levels, but on the level that I can relate to. And it's giving me goosebumps right now just thinking about this because of the lives and families that you guys touch with Roofers and Recovery and allowing us to be a part of that on what was it, June 3rd was National Roofers and Recovery Day. Like that, that's pretty cool shit. And I can get down with that. And I could talk about recovery for days, for hours, for weeks. And I dig you guys. I appreciate what you do. And I may be just a little bit envious. But you guys are some badass mofos. So thank you for everything that you do for our industry, the families, the lives that you guys touch and impact. And it's legendary. It's not even legacy. Man. It's legendary. So with that, I mean, tell us what you're getting into. Tell us how the National Roofers and Recovery.
Yeah, that's what I want to know, man.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah. What was the final with that?
Thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys having us on one, but it went very, very well. So far we've collected right around $300,000 is what we've collected, which is huge. There's still quite a few guys out there that have some money coming. They're waiting on the supplements, they're driving the job all the way through and actually really trying to get the job maximized. So really appreciate that. I know one guy got a job and started at like 21,000 and it's up to like 30,000. So it's a process, but man, we were just so happy to see a lot of the different people, sometimes even the guys that I had no idea what even cared, right? Like I don't know, maybe it was just me, but there was a few different companies that really dug in and went all in on it, right? And so that was really cool to see. So that's been a big deal. That all goes towards people in rehab. I think that last I looked, we had like a 98% give back, like with our nonprofit, which is huge. And so literally 98% of that money goes to putting a guy or gal into rehab and their care. So I thank everybody enough, especially you guys. You were unbelievable that day. TC Backer showed out like I could not believe, man. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving us a platform to do that kind of shit for, man. For real. We're super passionate about helping the community, and we have that go big or don't fucking do it at all kind of attitude. So that's just, I think that's kind of why we all gel so well, because you guys have that same kind of attitude. And
I know it's something that Paul and I talked about too, just for the record. We've got a lot of great people that, support us and support, what we're doing and everything. But I don't think, as far as people and a company goes, that there's anybody that supports us like you guys do. And we want that recognized. And we just want everybody to know that, because we talk about it all the time, even if we're not, sending you I love you texts. But like it's something that we talk about a lot, that we want you to know publicly that we appreciate.
Hey, that's awesome.
Sometimes we're not good at saying I love you, but it's just so you know.
A lot of us aren't, dude. A lot of us aren't.
We're all busy, and thank you for acknowledging that, and we appreciate it. And we didn't do it for the recognition, and I know you don't do it for the recognition. You do it because it's the next right thing to do, and that's the passion. That's the direction your passion took you, and I get that, and I wholeheartedly believe that that I'm on borrowed time today, and there's a reason why that I'm here today, and I'm not gonna waste that. I was chosen. I wholeheartedly believe that I was chosen. So I was given a gift. God had given me a second, third, fourth, fifth chance, and like I said, I'm not going to waste any of that. I'm going to try to take advantage of as much time as I can, make as much usefulness out of the time that I'm here to try to make an impact on somebody's life, because like I said, I wholeheartedly believe that's why I'm here today. That's the reason why he's like, you know what, kid, you got a lot to offer somebody. You've been through a lot, and through your experience, strength, and hope, you will be able to change other people's lives. And like Chris touched on, thank you for allowing us to use that as your platform, use your platform, that we could be an extension of your platform to impact somebody's life, because that whole thing, and I don't even want to get into how it all went down for us, but we're glad that we were able to help you, and just know that there was other people involved to help us do that. And there was another person that was really impacted, really a lot, that was in need of something too at that time. So it was great. Thank you so much on many levels, man. You guys you rock, you kick ass. Yeah. That's all good shit.
I second that, man. And Paul, I want to touch on something that you said at the beginning when you were talking. You said that you were kind of blown away by, the unexpected, people that you didn't expect. And it's like, how often in life do we run into that, where, you're down and out, and it's the people that you would last think of that pick you up, that are there to pick you up. You know what I mean? So it's just a good show of faith on always treating people and doing the next right thing, and treating people well, no matter what, never burning bridges. Cause you really don't know, some people show their love for you differently than other people. Some people might not feel that they need to say it, or know that they need to say it, or what, but will still be there for you when you need them. So, it's just another testament to that, and I don't know about you guys, but I run into that a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you get a comment from a homeowner, you get a comment from a job supervisor or something like that, that it's like, man, I would have never expected that guy to write in here or say that, or, you know what I mean? And how often do we run into that in life?
Seriously.
No, it's so true, because I've been trying to really do better and realize this a lot more. There's so many people in life that follow you or look at you for like guidance, but you've never even really talked to them, right? I think some of that came like in the age of social media, right? And because there's guys that come up to me all the time and they're like, man, I followed you, you know, blah blah blah, and you know, thank you for doing this, or like, hey, I really want to be involved with that I had no idea was even paying attention. And so like my takeaway on that is like, you know, I always was like tried to really recognize it, like when my kids were around, you know, trying to be a good leader, you know, like, you know, good father, and you know, my kids are watching type thing. You know, during my addiction, I definitely wasn't good at that, right? But when I got sober, I did that. But I've really tried to recognize that fact that there's so many people watching us that we have no idea about. And when they see, you know, like any of us four doing this or doing that, what are they going to do? They're like, well, if that guy can't do it, there's no way in hell I can. And I think that's such a huge thing to recognize, you know, as like a leader in the roofing industry. And I even hate saying that word, right? Like I hate calling myself like a leader in the roofing industry, but you know what I mean? It's just, we have to do a better job of that, because you have no idea how many people are watching what you do, watching the way that you act, you know, watching some of the dumb shit sometimes that maybe we post on Facebook, or, you know, the way that we treat our wives, the way that we treat our kids, you know, people are watching that, man. And I feel it's like some reason God put us on this platform that we probably didn't deserve for the most part of our life.
Right on.
And so I got to look at it like, all right, he put us on a platform, and like, now it is my duty to try to do better. And I could definitely do a better job at it, right? But it's important to recognize it at least. I think that's the first step, is recognizing the platform that we were blessed with, and, you know, really honoring that and doing something with it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing that people don't know, so here's a little inside scoop for y'all. Something that you don't know is that about once a week, Paul and I both have awful memories that come up in our Facebook feeds. And it's always like right when we got sober or right before we got sober. So they're all like 15 years old. It was like right when Facebook started. And mine are always like, going to get fucked up tonight. Who wants to come? You know, it's a bunch of dumb shit. And we screenshot them and send them to each other. We're like, oh my God, if people were watching us that.
Well, dude, because that's the thing. There would be like 3 likes, you know,
yes,
whatever, you know. So I have this horrible fear, because you hear like these professional athletes or some guy like running for Senate. Someone went and looked at their Twitter feed or their Facebook feed from like 2009, and they got some stupid shit you don't even remember posting. So every day I go to Facebook memories and I'm like, wow, like delete.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate because I didn't have Facebook, you know, or it wasn't, I don't even know if it was around. I think MySpace was around. And I
deleted my MySpace.
Listen,
I completely wiped that son of a bitch.
That was so much trouble for me anyhow, and I was single at that time. So, but anyhow, I thank God, because I would have been arrested.
Yeah,
something bad would have happened, and because I was so stupid when I was out there. God, I was so dumb, and my mouth wouldn't stop. So I know that I would be going live, doing some crazy off the wall. I'd be Frank the Tank probably running.
Oh my God!
Butt-ass naked.
Can you imagine?
Come on, thinking that I got like 15 people following, and it's like I look back and there's nobody there. But that's how I lived. Like I was in like this delusional fantasy world that I thought I was a leader. You know.
Yeah.
But I was just dumb and young and crazy and God.
Because you thought somebody was behind you naked following you, and they weren't.
Yeah. You were of the pack. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on, guys. We're going streaking.
That's great.
Yeah. But like you were saying, like you are a leader, you know, and the difference between a leader and one who leads is you know, a leader has followers and who inspires other people to want to be leaders. So you fit in that category, and I know it's tough to like self-proclaim yourself a leader, because I struggled with that too. Like when I started to use that word leader, because I never looked at myself really as a leader, maybe an influencer of those that I work around and things like that. But I think when like I started to hear Chris a few years ago with like our leader and Vic and whoever, and maybe Kim and a couple other people in the office were like our fearless leader. And it was like, it started to sink in. And I think it sounds better to hear it from them than me being that self-proclaimed, I'm the leader of the pack, you know? So I can relate to that. And I think a lot of that has to do with being humble and humility. It's kind of like, and then of course, what is that? Not the inferiority complex that I suffer from too. You know, it's, you know, I want to walk into a room and have everybody applaud me, but at the same time, I'm thinking, Christ, what are they thinking about me? You know what I mean? They're talking shit on me. I know they're talking shit on me, but I want you to applaud. Here,
well, I'm afraid that they've seen my Facebook posts from 10 years ago and they fucking know who I really am.
Yes.
Right? There's that's that weird thing. We kind of talked about it actually last night in a Roofers Recovery meeting, and it was about humility. So I sometimes struggle with that, because what I said was this: I was the most cocky, egotistical person you've ever met. 15 years before I got sober, I was the most cocky, egotistical person you've ever met. But yet I was the most insecure, scared, fearful person you've ever met in your life. Right. And that's what you were just saying. And so I've really worked on that over the years. And I think sometimes, you know, I want to be humble, and for the most part, I am pretty humble. And when I start going, well, I'm a leader, and then I'm going, wait, maybe you're not being humble. And I start getting freaked out in my head going, don't call yourself a leader. Like that's not being humble. Right. No, I feel it. I feel your pain on that, or that insecurity, because as much as I want to work on that insecurity, I'm still a fearful child. You know, I'm still sensitive. I mean, just scratch the surface and it'll veer its ugly ass head at any given time, especially if I'm not doing what I need to do for myself. You know what I mean? If I haven't gone to a meeting for a while, or I haven't got on my knees, and not to make this into a meeting or anything like that, but I can so relate to, and it doesn't matter how long you're around or how long you're sober, at any given time, I'm only this far away from a drink or a drug or anything. And I'm just a human being. And what's crazy is the one thing that I've realized over the years is that who I thought was normal, they're just as crazy as we are. The difference is I have some place where I can go and work on this thing, and they don't. So how lucky are we to be able to actually go someplace, talk some crazy shit and get it out of our head, and be around a group of people that actually understand this 6 inches right here, you know, like what's going on up in there. Oh, absolutely. How many times have you been selling a job to somebody where you've had a problem with a customer or whatever, and the whole time you're sitting there going, you need AA. I've done that so many times.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just a normal person, right? And I'm just like, God, you need to work the steps. Like,
Seriously?
Step 4 would be so good.
Would be so good for you. Yeah.
Right. And then on the flip side of things, you know, Ty mentions this, you know, has mentioned it a couple times on our shows, but he has everyone kind of, we call it sipping the Kool-Aid. Okay. If you're drinking the juice, or not, right? If they're following the culture or they're not following the culture, but we subliminally are almost following the program. You know what I mean? Because and a lot of us don't even realize it. I mean, I pick up on some of these signals because I have family members that are involved and I've been around it. But you know, a lot of the things of just being a good fucking person and doing the right thing. I mean, you wouldn't realize how close to the steps that normal life can take you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And when they say practice these principles in all of my affairs, that doesn't mean that 1 hour. That means all of the other 23 hours. That means at work, at the grocery store, at home, especially with my family, because that's probably where it's toughest, you know, with the kids and grandkids. And I just want to be left alone. And Chris, you say this all the time. When daddy gets home, he sets the tone. It's like, it's so hard where I've been so patient and tolerant all fucking day long with everybody at the shop. And then to go home and try to be patient and tolerant with everybody. And it's like, get away from it. I'm done. Like my give a damn's busted right now. Fuck AA, fuck the principals, and fuck this, fuck that, and fuck you. I'm done for the day. And about a week or so ago, man, I was like in my head so bad for probably like a good 2 weeks. There was a series of events that was like going on, and thank God for Vic and a couple of the other people that work with us that can actually relate to this knucklehead here. And sometimes I don't use those people around me, and it's like, I'm a guy, I can handle this, and I'm going to take care of this. And I heard what's his name, Mike Claudio.
Yeah.
He went live the other night, and he was talking about decision fatigue. And dude, listening to him talk about that stuff, I was like, oh my God, that's what I was suffering from. It was like, I just couldn't make any more decisions. Like I was just done. Now he didn't have a solution for it, but I know what my solution would have been. Is like, I probably should get my ass up to my home group for a couple of days straight and get my shit right, but for someone like him or anybody else that's normal, that doesn't have that, what are they gonna
do? I've done research on this actually, and like I work, like Clay and I work on this, Paul. We talk about this. So I don't know. I don't know if I talked to you guys about Clay. Paul and I both worked with Clay, and I still work with him, and we do whatever. He doesn't like to be called a life coach, but he's a fucking coach of some kind. And we were talking about kind of that, like how much energy decisions make and blah blah blah. And it was really interesting because I went and spent some time with him in Mexico, and I kind of watched him, and homeboy he had like 7 white t-shirts and 6, black pair of shorts. And he ate the same fucking tacos every day we were in Mexico. And he had the same thing to drink every single day. And finally I was like, dude, you're a boring motherfucker. Like, what is going on with you? And he goes, man, I got to make so many decisions during the day. He goes, I eat the same thing, and I wear the same thing, and I do this, and this. And he had like 8 things that we all have to spend time making that decision on. Like, oh, what are we going to have for lunch today? I don't know. What do you want to have for lunch today? Well, where should we order from? Should we get it from Uber Eats? Well, I don't know. And like, you spend all of this energy figuring that out. And when you have those things like lined up, and you just bang, 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 it's like 8 things that you don't even have to think about anymore. And I was like, well, that's just genius. Like, I want to do that, but I mean, I haven't yet, but but it seems like a really good idea, all things considered, because we do have a lot of decisions to make on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Hell yes, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of tough decisions, and a lot of people rely on us, and this isn't for everybody.
No.
What we
and
do.
One other thing I wanted to bring up was because Paul was talking about our meeting last night, and everything that we all just got done talking about here, about living the principles and all that kind of stuff. We talk a lot about living, and a lot of times we forget about what it was like before we got through that little corridor, and we forget about the people that we're all trying to help by participating in Roofers in Recovery, and we're trying to help that person that can't get through the door, that's scared to get through the door, that's still drinking and is trying to find their way out. And we've all been, not all of it, but I mean, we've been sober for a while now, right? And so like, we get to live now, and we get to live the principles, and we get to live the steps, and we get to have these lives, and the people that we're trying to help have no fucking idea what that looks like. Mm-hmm. Like, they have no clue. And when you sit sometimes in a meeting or in a room, and you're like, oh, my life's so great, and fucking this is going well, and this is going well, and I'm going to do this. And they're sitting there going, screw you, man. Like, I just don't want to drink or use today. Fuck. Mm-hmm. And they're just, and you can't get them to stop that day. Like, we're on a text string this morning with a guy that wants help, and we literally can't get him to stop drinking today. Like, and I try to put myself back in that moment, because those are the people we're trying to help, so that they can eventually have this kind of conversation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Total sense.
For sure.
I remember sitting in a meeting years and years ago, and there was a guy that had been around for a long time, and he was talking about buying his daughter a refrigerator that hers broke. And I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, I can't even afford an apartment.
He's rich.
Yeah, like he's also a refrigerator. Like, dude, right. I was mind blown.
Like he just went and bought it? Like
Yeah,
just like that?
bought
a fridge?
just broke out the checkbook and went to Lowe's and bought somebody
Yeah.
else a freezer. And I thought,
I wondered what he's doing in there.
seriously,
Right.
like I didn't get it, man. Like I couldn't rub two nickels together when I got here, man. I didn't have a pot nor a pot to freaking throw the thing out the window or whatever. However, yeah, like for
That
real.
went well.
Yeah, dude.
That was good.
Yeah.
Where's our sound effects, Vic?
Hey, speaking of, like, weren't you talking something like about a T-shirt or something? And right when you said that, made me think of your Hogsworth. I was going to while you were talking. I was going to go Hogsworth. Right on.
Yeah.
A fucking grown-ass man.
I'm an alumni.
Yeah.
I'm at, for everybody watching, eat it to the rest of you guys. I'm at Universal. It's my niece's birthday, and she is a Harry Potter nerd. And for her birthday, we all wore our silly fucking Hogwarts shirts to go to Universal so that she could be happy. So for everybody wanting to make fun of me, you make fun of my niece.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, I'll take a picture of him when I see him wearing his fucking Hogwarts.
Side of Universal.
I have a feeling this is not the first time he's worn that.
And it fits so well. So obviously, and it kind of got like that wash fade to it. So it's been hanging in the car for a while.
Yes. Talk to Natalie about that.
Right on. It's okay that you had fun. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's
It
good
was a hoot and a half. That's definitely my crowd. A lot of robes and fucking weirdos.
Right. And it was probably stinking hot. Is that indoors or outdoors?
Oh, it's real hot. It's outside. Like everything's outside. And it's about 175 degrees here today. So, yeah.
Yeah, I never
dripping.
experienced any of that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
All right. Well, let's get into. Okay, so you guys do what the what's it called? The
Commercial Roofing Academy.
Commercial Roofing Academy. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did it start? What's happening now, and what's the end goal with it?
Yeah. No, thank you for bringing that up. So started Commercial Roofing Academy we're coming up about 2 years now. We have a class every 2 months, but the biggest reason why we did that was, I see a lot of different trainings and different, cells, door to door, like there's all kinds of shit out there. And there really wasn't anything for commercial roofing and how to get into it. Because I think the majority of people that start a residential roofing company, the entry level to get into residential roofing is literally like zero, right? Like you don't have to have a whole hell of a lot. Literally, you need a ladder and a pan. You don't really have to have any money. Like, you could rob Peter to pay Paul damn near and start a residential roofing company. But I used to do a lot of residential. Years ago, I was doing about 3,000 residential roofs a year, and made the intentional decision of going, I can't do this anymore. Like, that's way too much shit. And we had been selling some commercial along with it. And I was like, that's a lot easier. So I said, that's what I want to do. And at that point, there was literally nowhere that you could go to learn what to do, learn anything. So we just jumped all in, and, lucky, grace of God, whatever you want to call it, we somehow survived. And it probably, I tell people, and I think a lot of people are like, think I'm full of shit, but I know that it probably cost me about $2 million to do. And
wow.
we did it, and we got into it. So 2 years ago decided, you know what? And really the truth of the matter also is just like Eric can have like a servant heart, and I want to give back, and I love this industry. And, some of the stuff that's out there, like, is just infuriating to me. Some of the paths that people are coaching people or leading people down are just like infuriating me. My blood boils literally. So I was like, we want to go in and we want to do this right. And so we started the Commercial Roofing Academy, and, we bring in generally anywhere from, say, 30 to 50 students every 2 months. And it's a program that we literally just start at the beginning. I think most people come and think that we are going to give them what they want to hear is $1 million pitch that they could go out and sell this $1 million job. And they're pretty surprised, because we literally spend the first half day talking about leadership and building the foundation of your company, that we have to build the foundation, because it doesn't matter if we build an 8-story building and it's beautiful. If that foundation sucks, it's coming down. And so we really focus on that of how to set that up, not only at, in your office, but most importantly at home, and the shit that you need to do on a personal level to really make sure that you're that strong leader that you could go in and you could start doing this and do these jobs. And obviously we get into like financial part and the bidding, the estimating, and different roof systems and all those things. But the basis that we bring in on is, okay, so you're a residential roofer and you want to do commercial, or you already do commercial, but you only do, 2, 3, 4 million and you want to do 10 or 15. Here's the foundation. And so that's the focus of it. And it really did start because of just wanting to give back to the industry. It's not a moneymaker, right? Like, we don't do this to make money. There's a ton of other shit that we could do. I mean, fact is, we have one here on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting tomorrow evening, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to lose money because, I'm here in Omaha working the storm. I won't be here selling jobs, Friday. So it's not for income. It's more for like, hey, let's get back and let's build a better industry.
Right on.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's
So
really cool.
where did you come up with the idea of that? Or did you say that early on and I didn't catch it? Like, why did you want to do this?
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I got pissed off, like looking at the internet some days. Like, there was a lot of people out there that were coaching or, come up with academies or programs that really don't even do any roofs. And I'm like, how in the fuck are you teaching people or coaching people and you don't even do that yourself? And
Right.
And so I really just kind of got pissed off and thought there was really a gap in the industry of, education. Like a lot of the conferences and different shit that's out there, like, they talk about education, but what are they really talking about? They're talking about, well, what PA should we fucking select because we need to like use a PA on every claim? What law firm should we select because we need to sue the insurance company? Which shingle is the best? I don't give a shit about any of that, right? Like, if I need to use that, like, I could find that, I could figure that out. But to actually run a business and to be a great leader in your company and be a great leader in your home, which is more importantly, that's what the shit we need to learn about. Because if you look, Ty, in the roofing industry, who the fuck own companies in the roofing industry? People like me, you, Eric, that are, ex-drug addicts, right? That have no formal education on shit and don't even know what a P&L statement is.
Right.
And we don't know what overhead is. And we're running these multi-million-dollar a year companies. And so finally it was like, dude, I'm done. Like, I don't do everything perfect. Eric doesn't do everything perfect, but it's like, dude, let's get what we do good out and use that. And
Right.
dude, there's Eric, how many people from Omaha have been at the class? Like 6,
Lots.
7 different companies. I've had
more
6,
than that.
7, 10 companies from Denver, that are, you want to say like our direct competitors. I don't give a shit. Like, I'll still
And
be
they
sitting
still
at the
call
table.
us. They still call
Yeah.
us though, like when something comes up, because they know that we're there to help. I mean, I have guys call me all the time and like, hey, do you want to just partner on this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you bet. And it forms really cool. It forms a really cool network, at the same time. It's not just you go there and learn and you take off. We've been really intentional about keeping in touch with all the students and doing stuff, every month, every quarter, keeping a dialogue going. And the people that come have, direct access to have conversations and, things like that. And I think that that's where the real value comes from. Like, we've had numerous conversations that, like, for what is charged and the time that we give and the information that's given at these and the guest speakers that we have and everything, like, we should be charging so much more money than what we actually do for the value that you get, for coming, because we're hopefully training the next generation of commercial roofing, and we're hoping that they learn how to do it the right way. And
Yeah.
that they don't go out of business because they came in with the wrong idea, because most of them come in and see dollar signs and they see a $3 million job or a $2 million job and think that, you know, like, and it's life-changing money if you do it the right way. But if you don't, you go build a $2 million job and you lose $300,000. Like, it's real easy to do that on one of those jobs if you don't set it up right.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more. You said about the foundation, and I think you started to talk about that a little bit. So when you talk about foundation, you're talking about like your home life and business ethics and stuff like that. So tell us more about the foundation portion of the program that you guys have.
Yeah. So here's a question I like to ask people. If I ask literally all four of us on this call, if I go, hey guys, what's the most important thing in your life? Like, what's the most important thing in your life? Well, one of you is probably going to pop off and say, oh, my family, right? And so the other three of us are going to get peer pressured and say, oh, our family, right? Or hopefully we all say that anyway, right? But we're all just going to say our family. And here's the reality. We're probably all lying. And here's why I'm going to say that. Our actions show different, meaning we're so involved, like with running a roofing company, because we're so fucking important, right? Because we have people's lives in our hands. But, you know, like if Mrs. Smith doesn't get her brown drip edge, like she's going to die. Like that's our mindset that we have as a roofing company owner, salesman, whoever. Like the world's going to end, shit's bad. And so I'm going to start work at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to finish at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And well, my family should understand because, you know, I made really good money and I made, you know, $4,300 on Mrs. Smith's roof. So it's really important. And I have this God complex because I'm a roofer. So I told you guys, my family's my most important thing. And I think because I am providing for them and I bought them some nice shit, that's what's really matters to them. The truth is they want you to be present. And we get caught up that like we're present for Mrs. Smith because we don't want a shitty Google review, but we're not present for our family. And you mentioned it, Ty, when you walked in, when you were talking about like all you wanted to do was fucking go home and like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to deal with shit. Like dad's home and like everybody leave me alone. How fair is that, right? Because at some point, you know, like kids change, but at some point in their life, like all they want is for their dad to come home and literally fucking give them 20 minutes. All your wife wants you to do is literally come home and give her 20 minutes. And we get so caught up in that shit. And I've proven it with myself. I know for a fact if I walk in and I'm present for the first 20 or 30 minutes that I'm home, I'm fucking present and my phone's down and nothing else matters besides my conversation with my wife, I have a great night. But I have a screw loose and I forget about that shit personally sometimes. And I walk in and I'm dealing with whatever and I'm emailing and I'll fucking get on Facebook and I'll get on TikTok, like all this shit. And like my wife's like, what about me? And then I go like, well, what about the nice shit that we bought? Because I do all this, right? So the foundation has got to start at home. And so if I could do that and I could start leading at home, that's so important. Like none of it matters. Like if I go out and I do all these roofs and I make $1 million fucking dollars, what did it really matter? Because my home life sucked and I'm fighting with my wife and I'm fighting with my kids and they don't really give a shit about dad anyway because he's an asshole. So what did all this time and energy and money that we made matter at the end of the day? Because no one gets to enjoy it because we don't like to be around each other.
Yeah, no,
that's deep.
I love it. And I'm pretty sure I saw you post Ed Milet's new book that you got it and read it. Did you read Ed Milet's book yet?
Dude, I did. I had COVID and I ordered it and it delivered at my house like at 2:30. I had that fucker read from front to cover like at 5 o'clock. I was all in.
Yeah, man. Where he talks about like that the emotional home. Crap. It's so good. Like most people live in their emotions, right? So if I'm insecure today, that's my life. My life is insecure. But if I'm living in, happy, joyous, and free emotionally, then I'm living a happy, joyous, and free life. Is what I think that he was trying to say. If I remembered it correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, because it was such a nugget. I wish I wrote it down. On how exactly he explained that. And I see myself that as soon as I wake up, I might wake up insecure right away and neurotic and emotional because there's some things that I know I got to deal with. And that's how I live my day, my entire day. And it's like he talks about like waking up in a different mindset of being happy, joyous, and free. And I'm just saying he didn't use happy, joyous, and free, but that's the three emotions I want to live in.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
no, and if
I want to stay.
Brother, if I'm living in chaos at home, I'm going to live in chaos when I'm at my office, right? Like, and if I'm living in chaos at my office, I'm going to live that way at home too. So I mean, they go hand in hand. But to me, like, where do I wake up and start my day? And that's at home. So if I start my day in chaos, it's going to end in fucking chaos more than likely.
Absolutely.
And it's a matter of really just being present, and that's the foundation of it, dude. I mean, because we all agreed. Like, I literally seen all three of you guys go like this when I said, "What's the most important thing to you?" And I said, "Family," and you go,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right? We all said that shit, but are you living your life in that way, or are you just going along with it because you think that's what the fuck's supposed to be the most important thing? You heard someone say that. No, we're all lying to ourselves and each other when we say family is the most important thing, because it's not the way that we've lived.
I mean, for the record, I wore a Hogwarts shirt today for my family. So fuck you.
If it was Friday, we'd give you a gold star, bud. Good, gold star Friday for Eric. Good job, bud. Honestly, I'm probably 50-50. Some days I'm good at it, and some days I'm not so good at being intentional.
Consistency, man. That's a very hard thing to be consistent with to make that deliberate, intent, to have that intentional time. It's hard, man. It's hard because I can go home on a Monday and be like, yeah, I'm good at it, but then shit hits the fan on Tuesday, and I'm dealing with shit while I'm pulling in the driveway, and 6 hours after I get home, I'm still dealing with shit because everything went wrong today. It's
It's crazy though, the way that we live this, and I hate to go throw it back to AA, but it's like, we know in AA, if we do these things every day, we're going to stay sober, right? And somehow, some way, like, we forget that day, and so we don't do it. And then some of us get lucky, and we get up the next day and we start over, and we didn't drink or use in the meantime. But we see literally more people than not go out because they forgot to like do their day with AA or whatever, right? And their recovery, and so they relapse. And you do the same shit at home sometimes with your wife. But if you think about this, a normal person, right? If they had like cancer and the doctor said, "Hey, you're going to fucking die. So I need you to come to this meeting for 1 hour a day, or I need you to do this for 20 minutes a day and put your phone down and be present." And you had cancer, you would fucking do it every single day, regardless of whatever, right? We're facing the same circumstances, but somehow we can't make that work in our head, because you're going, "I'm 50-50. And I'm going, I was agreeing with you for a second. I was like, fuck, I'm probably like only 30-70 is the truthful statement. But what's wrong with us that we can't just do that every day? It's not that hard.
It really isn't. If we could just learn to shut it off, especially as soon as we pull in the driveway. And I've done this already, where I've sat in the driveway for 30 minutes. If there was a call I needed to return, some text messages I needed to reply back to, or emails and stuff, and I'll try to clean that up before I walk in the door. Even on nights like tonight, like I was actually able to go home a little bit early, and our granddaughter and Mackenzie was there, and Rocket was there, and Jana, and it was cool. So I worked out for 30 minutes. I asked Mackenzie if her and Skylar were going to be there for a while, and she said yes. So I worked out real quick, and went up. They were still sitting around the pool, and I got in the pool, and they're all like, because that's kind of unusual, because if I get home on a normal work day, it's kind of, sometimes it's pretty late, but I try to sneak home throughout the middle of the day because Mackenzie and Skylar come over every other day. So I try to sneak home around lunchtime and get that intentional time in, so I can see Skylar, our grandchild, and Mackenzie, because now her and Chris have their own house and stuff. So they're not living at the house anymore, and haven't for a while. And I miss him dearly. And, and Rocket, and he's such a good goddamn kid. Him and Jana must have been talking the other day about something. And Rocket, he's 13 years old. And what's cool is like, I'm still his hero. Now, my oldest kid, who's 27 years old, thinks I'm a fucking piece of shit. So our first child, I fucked him up. The second child, we did a little better on, but Rocket's like, I don't even know where he came from. Like he's such a good goddamn kid,
Probably not yours.
Probably not, but he's such a good kid. And now we got 3 grandkids that just love to see me. And it's like, when I came to you, I was a loser, I was a liar, I was a drunk, and I was a thief. And today I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle, I'm a grandfather, a fucking grandfather, dude. What the fuck? Like, seriously, I didn't think I was going to make it past age 21 for real. I graduated from FCP, and that's Franklin County fucking prison. And that's no joke, dude. Like, I got my degree, or my high school diploma, in jail. Like, my entire life, I fucked up from the beginning. Like, and today it's like you were saying, like, I was that dude sitting in the corner in the back row in an AA meeting thinking, man, there's no way I'm not like these people. There's no way. Like, I'm never going to get it. I'm not like these people. I'm not worth it. If they only knew who I really was and the things that I went through. But then when I kept coming back. I kept coming back, and I kept coming back because that's what they told me to do. I kept coming, and not to keep going back to the whole AA thing, but it plays a big part. I eat, breathe, and shit this thing. I have to. And those
it's funny. I sat in the back of that room the first time I did. And I remember, it was maybe after like my second DUI or something. I don't know. And I remember sitting in the back of that room, and I had a different thought. And I went, I'm supposed to be here. I'm not ready to stay. I'm going back out. But this is probably where I'm going to end up. And like, I knew it. Like, I can literally put myself in that place, in that seat, in what room I was in, what meeting I was at. And I remember looking up and being like, this is where I belong, just not yet. And I left that meeting and went straight to the bar. I think I drove Paul by the bar the other day, and I was like, that's the bar that I used to go to after I left AA when I had to get my card signed. And yep. And that was exactly, and sure as shit, then almost 10 years later was when I got back and actually started doing the deal. But it took like another 10 years before I could see that.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy. That's the insanity, right? That's the insanity that we all talk about.
For sure. Good stuff, guys. Again, you guys want to come on once a month? And
I'm down. I enjoy shooting the shit with you guys. So let me know.
Yeah.
Me too. All right, so let's get into this storm. The storm, what is it? Storm into a new era? Like, dude, what is this mysterious storm thing about? Like, I see shit, but like, I don't understand like what's going on here. So from the beginning to end, fill us all in. All of our listeners that probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, make sure they know what the hell it is before you're done telling us about it.
Yeah. So again, that was one of those things that came about because I got pissed off. I went to a roofing conference, and I was like, that was a total waste of my time for a couple days.
You don't have anger issues, do you? Because you're pissed off a lot.
I have anger issues.
Good.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't give a shit again. And I have a lot of great PA friends and lawyer friends, so please don't think I'm trashing these guys. I just use an example. But again, I don't need to know what PA I need to use. I don't need to learn that at a conference. I don't need to know which lawyer I need to use. I don't need to know what shingle I need to use. I don't need to know all this shit. Right. And so I left the conference, and I told Kim, we need to start something really based on the foundation that I started talking about with Commercial Roofing Academy. Because how do we run a business and actually make it matter? And there's a lot of foundational issues. So storm We did, the first conference was 2 years ago, right before COVID. So we didn't do it during COVID, but we brought in 250 people, and it literally changed 250 people's lives. They were impacted that much. And so the goal with Storm into the New Era is to develop new leaders and continue to build your foundation at home so you can build your foundation at work. And that is our intention, is to really just kind of put the industry back, because let's all be honest, there is nowhere in the world that we can make a living and do what we do and be as successful as we are besides roofing. There really isn't, right? Like, where can you make the money and do all the cool, fun shit that we get to do besides what we do in roofing, right? Like, I can't go be a fucking lawyer, like, right? I can't be a doctor. Like, I don't have a college education. Like, I would have to go work at Dollar General or McDonald's. I have nothing else. And we've been able to create this unbelievable life. You know, Eric's sitting in Orlando fucking in a Hogwarts shirt.
Seriously.
Right? Like, the truth is, like, he should be the custodian at the fucking 7-Eleven. Like that's the reality of, like, who, you know, of where our life was and took us. And now today we get to sit here and be successful business owners. Drop my earpod. And we need to honor that. And so we need to train these people, and we need to train ourselves and continue to just be better as an industry. Like, we're shitting on it unless we do those type of things. So I think it's our duty to stand up and say, like, let's just be better. Mm-hmm. And how can we do that? So we bring in a powerful set of speakers that really kind of come in and talk to us about, like, you know, about life and how you just become a better husband, better father, and a better business owner.
And it's all directed at our industry because that's what we're passionate about, but it has nothing to do with our industry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're not going to learn about which shingle to use.
Nope.
Like, no, we're not training you on fucking the R value of some roof system. Like, you could learn that shit somewhere else.
And you look at every single sponsor and every single person that applies to come. Right. And I think that that's really important for people to know, because we want the right people there for the right, not only the right people, but there for the right reasons. Right. And we're not just taking anybody's money, you know, that's willing to pony up, because there's a ton of people that want to just pony up money, you know, to get their face in front of the people that, you know, align with us and the values and the things that we have. And people want to do that. And there's times where we have to sit there and go, sorry, like, it's just not a fit, you know.
We just voted down a $20,000 sponsorship 2 days ago. We're like, no, we don't want that company involved with what we're trying to do. They're not a fit, and, like, they're here for the money. You know, money's going to come, but, you know, we've had 10 or 15 people that have applied to come to Storm that we voted no, because they're doing their thing. And yes, do we want to help people? And I mean, I know that sounds kind of shitty, but at the same time, we're building this, and we're big on foundation, right? And so if there's a weak link in that foundation, you know, that's part of this group, what happens to the foundation, right? Rotten apple type scenario.
Yeah.
And it's not and to that point, though, because I understand, because like Paul said, that can come across the wrong way, but you have to remember the second part of it. It's not about the person, it's about the reason. Right. And that they're wanting to come for the right reasons. Because if there's somebody that we're all on the fence about and we're like, that guy or that gal, but then all of a sudden they reach out and they're like, here's why I want to come. I want to come because I want to change my life, and I feel like I've been going down the wrong path, and I need to change the way that I do things. And right. You get that story and that conversation. Those are the people that come to Storm and walk out like they did 2 years ago, completely changed individuals, right?
Yeah, it's not a popularity contest. We don't give a shit. There's a handful of people that are coming that are voted in that I personally don't care for. you know, that, but whatever, but they want to be there because they're going, I need to be part of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I need to be part of this. I need to do this with my life and become a better husband, better father. And they're going to be there, right? It's not, we just don't want the people that want to really be there because the fear of missing out syndrome, and they don't really give a shit. And
or they want to exploit, the network, and they want to exploit the goodness of the people that are going to be there, because there's a lot of that in the industry as well.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let me ask you this question. I totally understand why you're doing that, but has the thought ever occurred to you guys that maybe that by vetting someone or people to come to this thing, that there may be someone missing out that you could actually reach by this vetting process?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's talked about all the time. Like we're super conscious of it, and it was why I kind of tried to clarify, the statement, because again, it's not about the person; it's about the reason, right? We want to know why you want to come. There's going to be a cap on how many people can be there, so we don't want to let somebody in that's coming for the wrong reasons when there's somebody out there that really needs to be there and wants to be there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And that's the person that we want to be there. The point is that we want people to know that we're not just going to sell tickets to sell tickets. It's not about the money. It's not about any of that shit. It's about making sure that we're reaching the people that want to be impacted. And we want to be able to impact the most people for the right reasons, if that makes sense. But it's 100% something that's like at the top of our mind every time we have a conversation.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. No, and
sense.
I just wanted, not necessarily, I know why you're doing it, but I just, for anybody listening, I thought maybe I'd dig a little deeper into that. And if anyone's not asked that question, probably because they're probably scared to ask you that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just thought I would throw that out there because I know you guys practice the same principles that I do. And I know why you do it. And I dig it. I love it. I support it. And it's again, it's another one of those cool things that you guys are doing and trying to change the lives of people in our industry and get rid of the stigma. Chris and I have had a conversation, topics after topics on this same topic, the same subject of trying to change the stigma of our industry. Right. You know what I mean? Because it is, we're drunks, we're drug addicts. We had nowhere else to go. And right. That's just, we got a bad rap. It's like, I think most homeowners are nervous.
And they're not wrong.
No, to call a roofing contractor up because of the horror stories that they've heard that, they don't answer the phone, or they did answer the phone and never showed up, or he did show up and never gave me my estimate, or they took my deposit and I don't know where they're at. Like, we hear these stories all the time. And everyone's heard it. I mean, it's for generations, us roofing, those who came before us fucked it up.
I mean, there's ads run every time there's a storm in an area warning people about us. Like, literally, I know you guys don't have, the same kind of storm, deal that we have in Omaha and Denver and whatever. But like, literally, the minute a storm hits, they have commercials on the news to not talk to contractors.
Like,
because we're all
literally, they'll start the news off at 5:01 and they'll have the lady standing out in the storm and saying, oh my God, it's really bad out here and shit's messed up. And at 5:02 they come on with the clip warning you about roofers.
Yep.
Right? That is a reality. Like,
there is no other industry that
at 5:02.
No.
Hell no.
They're not talking still about the storm. They're just like, hey, watch out for these people.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you're right.
But we did that to ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did that to ourselves. And so we're super passionate about the industry. I mean, there's nowhere else I could have did this shit that what I get to do today.
Right.
And the living that I get to make. And so we're super passionate. And we're like, we got to clean this shit up. We've just got to do better. As an industry. It starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys, because you guys are definitely on the right track of leaving the industry better than you found it. For sure.
Yeah.
I think he just called us old.
No,
I mean,
It almost felt like you called me an environmentalist.
Listen, old men don't wear Hogwarts shirts, bro.
that's right. You can't be that old if you know who.
Dude, you know what I do? I catch myself watching myself on the screen, and I do this a lot just so it doesn't fucking all show up on the shirt. And then as I sit back, I'm like, God damn it. And then I lean forward again.
Well,
It's
comfortability.
very embarrassing.
Hey, Vic, mirror his picture so we can actually read it, so it's not that.
Hey, one thing that I want to mention before we get off the storm into the new era topics, if we even were, but I want to remind everybody too that's watching, especially those that are passionate about roofers and recovery, something that hasn't been put out there yet, but it's going to be, is that on the last night there's going to be a roofers and recovery gala, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be another opportunity for us to raise money for roofers and recovery. We're going to have an auction out on the field because the event, which we didn't say, is actually at Bronco Stadium. I don't know what the fuck they call it now, Paul. What do they call it now?
Like Walmart Stadium. I don't know.
Yeah, Walmart Stadium. So, but it's at Bronco Stadium. We're gonna have like an auction deal out on the field. We're gonna have a dinner. You can buy tickets to that separately. They're not gonna be pricey or anything. We just want people to be there. And then we actually booked a comedian to entertain as well. At the end of the show, we've got a singer. I don't know if you guys ever saw Mark Lundholm. You ever see him? Look him up. He's absolutely hilarious, and he's actually sober. And a lot of his comedy comes from that dark place that we all lived in, and it's really good. But that's going to be a really exciting event, and we want to make sure that everybody that's coming to Storm gets signed up to come to the gala on the last night as well, because that's going to be a big event for Roofers in Recovery, and we look forward to having you guys there, as well.
For sure. Now, is it a 1 day or 2 day event?
2 day.
2 day event.
Well, it's like I think there's a meet and greet, right?
Right.
So I think there's like a meet and greet like on
the night
Tuesday
before.
Night,
It's 2
and then
full
Wednesday,
days of
Thursday.
content.
It's 2 full days of Storm into the New Era, but I believe on Tuesday night is meet and greet.
Cool. And what are the dates?
Well, I was hoping you didn't ask me, but it's September 13th, 14th-ish. God, don't quote me on that. It's on our site, but it's September. God, I
13th, 14th, 15th.
Yep.
Yeah. So 14th and the 15th are the content days. 13th is the meet and greet night, the night before. So obviously everybody fly in on the 13th, and then we'll all meet up wherever is planned for the meet and greet.
Do you guys have a website yet?
Yeah. Yes. stormintothenewer.com.
Okay. Stormingintotheera.com.
Storm into the new era.com.
Okay. You got that, Vic? All right. We're going to post that down in the comments. Cool, man. You guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah, man.
The whole thing, everything that you guys are constantly doing, you're continuously trying to improve our industry, like on a daily basis. I follow you guys religiously on Facebook and wherever else I see you guys, and you guys have done amazing work, and the energy is still like you guys are still into it. Like from the day that whether you guys know it or not, I think 4 or 5 years ago, Janet and I met you guys at Win the Storm conference, and you guys had your own little, like, really comfy looking couches and chairs and stuff like that. And we were all super excited. Like, oh my God, there's a Roofers in Recovery. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah.
And so we went over there. We met you guys just briefly. There were so many people there, but you did take the time. So from the moment you did take the time and say hi to us. So from day one, I mean, from day one, that the day that Jan and I had met you, I know Jan is a huge fan of Roofers in Recovery and stuff. And we actually still have the flyer here, believe it or not, National Roofers in Recovery Day.
Nice.
And by the way, we did receive the shirts, the package that you all sent us. So thank you for that. Yeah. But I think we need to get a couple bigger shirts. just throwing that out there. We got to get it. Vic couldn't even get it over his head.
I got a 2XL. We'll send it out.
Cool. Thank you. Again, if you guys are awesome, man. I can't say enough. Sure. I can't So good stuff. Great freaking show. So I'll send you guys a calendar invite for the next, I don't know what, 6 months, but they're what, 6 months left in the year?
After you send that calendar invite, we'll send you one for the meeting on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
Oh,
dude, listen, bro. I'm on East Coast. I think that's like 10 o'clock.
It's
Like,
10 o'clock.
Dude, I'm out.
But in the winter time, it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we moved it back an hour.
back.
We had to move it later because in the summer nobody could make it because they're all working so late because the sun's out. You know what I mean? So we moved it in the summer to 9 Central. But yeah, I'll make sure to get you that calendar invite for that too.
Hopefully Vic didn't hear that because then he'll start busting my ass about that.
Good. I'll text Vic.
Oh, he heard it. He's got a big smile on his face back there. Mr. fucking Hogwarts back there.
Fucking Hogwarts.
Cool.
Oh, my God. Oh, the Roadcaster fucking coming in now. That took an hour to get that sound on the Roadcaster, didn't it? Yeah. It fucking went boop and hit the little button.
That's right. So Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. All right. So next Tuesday, I might surprise. I might surprise.
We'll send you the link.
Hey,
Cool.
here's why I'm not no pressure here, but literally today's kind of a really sad day. I wouldn't announce the guy's name because most people don't know, but there was a guy that passed away actually this morning. He's in Roofers in Recovery that we put in rehab about 6 months ago or so, and he passed away this morning. And we need all the help we can, right? Like we need the courage, strength, and hope in the meetings, and sometimes that makes a difference because again, we never know who's watching us. Yeah. We never know who connects with with one of us, right? We could say or to talk to the blue in the face, and all of a sudden you say something, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's a smart."
Amen.
You can't get through an episode without Paul having technical issues.
There he is.
Sorry, I'm on do not disturb, and still there's a call getting through.
only Paul's phone.
Yeah.
Hogwarts over there blowing your phone up.
Probably.
Yeah.
I am going to do that next time.
This magic stick.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. We'll get to one.
That just shows that you've seen it and I haven't. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You fucking nerd.
Oh,
man, such a great episode.
Yeah, great episodes. It's always good having you guys, man.
Thanks
Paul,
for having us, guys.
Your first time,
Appreciate
man. See you back on here for sure. Eric,
I'd love to.
4th or 5th time or something.
Yeah, again, you guys are coming back once a month for real.
We're on. We're on it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Good.
Excellent. TC Backer family, thank you guys once again for following. If you guys have not, go check out Roofers in Recovery page. Make sure you guys give that a lot of support and shares. Even if you can't afford to donate any kind of money, it is free to share it. And you never know who's feeling generous that day, man.
That's right.
We appreciate you guys always supporting us. All viewers, we're going to read back through the comments here. Make sure you guys go check out our YouTube page. We are actually live from YouTube right now. So make sure you guys go check out the Behind the Toolbelt YouTube page. Subscribe to that so you can help grow our stream and reach more people. Now that we're bringing more industry leaders like these guys on, it'll kind of branch out and try to hopefully help more people. So
hell yes.
Hopefully everyone enjoys the rest of your week, man. It's been a good episode, and we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Good job, brother.